This video is sponsored by Squarespace. We're back. Because of course we are. You know when you make a video as just sort of a one-off joke, but then that video out of nowhere becomes one of the most popular things you've ever done, and memes start happening, and your comment section fills with demands for more videos just like it? I'm not mad about it, I'm not ungrateful, I don't get it. Plenty of the videos on this channel, they take weeks and months of intense research, writing, editing, shooting, visual effects, all to put together. And then there's this series. The study of atmospheres and overall weather on planets other than Earth is called exometeorology. People with banana allergies have an increased risk for latex allergies because they both share similar proteins. The third word in the third chapter of the third Harry Potter book is several. The King of Hearts is the only king in a deck of cards without a mustache. Highway Gothic is the name of the font developed by the United States Federal Highway Administration for use in the country's road signage. The world's largest paperclip is located in Kipling, Saskatchewan. It's over 15 feet tall and weighs 3,043 pounds. The Magic 8 Ball was originally marketed as a paperweight. It didn't find mainstream commercial success until being rebranded as a kid's toy. The average movie ticket in 1958 cost 65 cents. The word laser originated as an acronym, Light Amplification by Stimulated Emissions of Radiation. There are over 1,200 varieties of watermelon. The terms uppercase and lowercase come from the early days of printing shops who kept metal letters in large cases. Smaller letters were used more often, so they were stored in the easy-to-reach lower section. Capital letters were used less, so they were stored in the top of the case. You get it? Did you know Tippecanoe County in Indiana allows write-in candidates to register with nicknames? Matthew None of the Above Roberts, a professor from Western Michigan, did. Using this ingenious strategy, he received 12 of the county's 1,290 write-in votes in the last presidential election. André Perot was a French archaeologist specializing in the ancient Near East. He led excavations in Lebanon, Iraq, and Syria, and was the director of the Louvre from 1958 to 1962. Most American car horns honk in the key of F, which is also the same key as the telephone dial tone. The recommended shelf life for sparklers is 5 to 7 years. Elvis never performed an encore. Due to the possibility of spontaneous combustion, the moisture content of hay bales should not exceed 22%. 7-Up included lithium in its recipe until 1950. Pinball games didn't have flippers until 1947. You originally had to just bump and tilt machines to get the pinball into holes to score points. Because this meant that the machines were much more luck-based than skill-based, they were initially considered a form of gambling targeted towards school children, and thus were illegal in many big cities. Don Knotts was born in July. Robert Ridgely Taylor invented the pumpable liquid hand soap dispenser. I don't know how I know that, but I do. Kites were used in the American Civil War to deliver letters and newspapers. According to a survey conducted by the Red Cross, more than half of Americans either can't swim or lack basic water safety skills. Arkansas's state flower is the apple blossom. A total of 24 tiebreaker games were played in the classic Nickelodeon game show Legends of the Hidden Temple. During the early 1900s, bowling balls were actually made of wood, and later a heavy rubber. Around 1960, bowling ball manufacturers used polyester resin for the first time, enabling the production of plastic balls with bright, swirled colors. The military armor costumes in Power Rangers Lost Galaxy are borrowed from Starship Troopers. The collarbone, or clavicle, is the most common type of bone break, mostly in children and teens thanks to car accidents and sports injuries. Seniors usually break them during a hard fall. Modern Olympic gold medal metals are made of silver, 93% silver to be exact, with 6% copper and 1% left for the gold finish. The last time metals were made of actual solid gold was 1912. Hope that doesn't ruin any of the magic for you. In the state of Indiana, it is illegal to ride a horse above 10 miles per hour. Be sure to check your speedometer. The company YKK is responsible for around 90% of all zippers and fastener products in the world. If your jacket has a zipper, it probably has their logo on it. This virtual monopoly has a global value of close to $12 billion. While we're on that subject, as of this video's recording, there are 1,144 versions of the Monopoly board game. And in a truly stunning turn of events, as of the year 2020, the base fee for residential water utilities in the city of Kennewick, Washington is $25.13. Double Bubble Bubble Gum was originally dyed pink because that was the only food coloring available in the factory at the time. It's remained the typical color for bubblegum products ever since. The average human body contains enough carbon to create 900 pencils. Whistling at night is considered to be bad luck in Thailand. Spiders recycle webs by eating them. Every 14 minutes, an American loses, breaks, or sits on a pair of sunglasses. Floppy disks were invented in 1967. The 1998 direct-to-video animated movie The Lion King 2: Simba's Pride has a total runtime of 82 minutes. Cigarettes are, on average, the fourth leading cause of house fires in the United States each year. Puff's facial tissues do not contain gluten. About 1.2 billion wristwatches are sold every year. Despite being a staple at Chinese restaurants in America for years, fortune cookies do not come from China. Instead, the fortune cookie originated in a San Francisco restaurant called the Japanese Tea House around 1890. They wouldn't be introduced to China until 1989. In the United Kingdom, the average plumber's salary is £15.80. Rates of peanut allergies in children more than tripled between 1997 and 2008. Illinois Avenue is the most common square to land on in a game of Monopoly. The Canon XC10 has a built-in 24 to 240 millimeter zoom lens. I really regret buying it. According to a 2012 study, humans are 13.8% more likely to die on their birthday. Despite being deadly creatures, crocodiles cannot stick their tongues out. Rubber bands last longer when refrigerated. Ow. A standard slinky, when stretched out flat, measures 87 feet. Pennsylvania was the first state to officially legalize the practice of witchcraft. The 1934 edition of Webster's New International Dictionary contains an odd error. They defined "dord" as meaning density. They meant to write D or D, density's scientific abbreviation. The Eiffel Tower was supposed to be demolished after just 20 years. It only survived because the military started using it as a radio tower, intercepting crucial military transmissions during World War I. A person that weighs approximately 150 pounds can burn 125 calories by vacuuming for 30 minutes. There are 86 Lego bricks for every person on Earth. Jonathan Keats is a photographer attempting to capture the world's slowest photograph, a 1,000-year-long exposure of the city of Tempe, Arizona that will be finished in the spring of 3015. Mark your calendars. The television show Bonanza lasted for 14 seasons with 431 total episodes. Every year in the United States, about 1,500 people have surgical objects accidentally left inside them after surgery. Almost 41 million speeding tickets are issued in the United States each year, which comes out to about 1 each second. The first item ever listed on eBay was a broken laser pointer. In 2016, the San Jose Public Library reported $6.8 million in late fees. A group of owls is called a parliament. The treadmill was invented in 1952 at the University of Washington by Wayne Quinton and Dr. Robert Bruce. According to the official Crayola color census, the least favorite and least used Crayola color is white, for obvious reasons. Actor Nicolas Cage was on the cover of a Serbian biology textbook between the years of 1993 and 2001. I feel like there's more of a story behind this, but I don't have time to investigate. The world's first sci-fi novel is considered by some to be a 2nd century Greek work called A True Story by Lucian of Samosata. It's the earliest known work of fiction to include travel to outer space, alien life forms, and interplanetary warfare. It's okay. As of 2014, Salt Lake City, Utah is home to more plastic surgeons per capita than any other city in the United States. 6 different dogs were used to portray Buddy while filming the motion picture Air Bud 2: Golden Receiver. Only 4 are credited. The current one-day jump rope record is 151,409 skips. Benjamin Franklin only had 2 years of formal education. The world's first vending machine was invented in ancient Egypt in 215 BC. It likely was used to sell holy water in the Temple of Alexandria. The word swims is the same upside down. Sidewalks cost between $150,000 to $250,000 per mile in the state of Oregon during the year 1999. In Sweden, Saturday is often the only day of the week that young children are allowed to eat candy. There are around 25 billion chickens in the world, more than any other bird species. 99% of American homes own at least 1 television set, and 66% have at least 3. More than half are still, somehow, inexplicably, paying for cable. While it has spawned several spin-offs, there are only 7 official Where's Waldo books in the primary series, or as it's known in the UK, Where's Wally? Ugh. The state of Maine is the biggest producer of toothpicks. Most people will spend 1/3 of their lives asleep. Not much you can do about that. The most popular baby names in 1986 were Michael and Jessica. On average, an ear of corn has 800 kernels in 16 rows. For you more sophisticated city types, the average person uses 100 rolls of toilet paper per year. The violin and mandolin both use the same string sets, G, D, A, and E. These are the worst pair of glasses I've ever owned. The coconut crab is the largest land-dwelling crustacean, so named because it loves to eat coconuts. The Toyota Corolla is currently the best-selling automobile in the world. Second place is currently held by the Ford F-150, but automakers believe that it will take over the #1 spot in the next few years. This should not be construed as an endorsement. Quakers in North America constitute approximately 21% of Quakers worldwide. Using quarters, dimes, nickels, and pennies, there are 242 ways to make change for $1. Lumberjacks have the highest fatality rate of any profession, with about 136 fatal work injuries per 100,000 workers, thanks to the physically challenging labor, heavy-duty chainsaws, and falling trees. Final Fantasy VIII, released for the PlayStation video game console in 1999, sold 8.6 million copies. Captain Crunch's full name is Horatio Magellan Crunch. This stock footage clip by Andrei Armiagov is entitled Beautiful Nature Norway Natural Landscape Lovet Net Lake Lodal Valley and has a total runtime of 46 seconds. Squirrels lose about 1/4 of their buried food to thieves. The RMS Titanic was 882 feet 9 inches long. The maximum possible score in Pac-Man is 3,333,360 points. According to the official company website, Expo markers stored horizontally with caps installed tightly will last approximately 2 to 3 years. 1 million soda can pull tabs have a modern recycle value of about $366. Henry Heimlich was an American medical researcher and inventor of the Heimlich maneuver, a technique he created in 1974 for abdominal thrusts to prevent choking deaths. On May 23, 2016, at age 96, he reportedly used the technique for the very first time himself, saving the life of a fellow resident in his senior living community. Only 5% of the world's population have ever been on an airplane. The last movie released on Laserdisc format was Tokyo Raiders on September 21, 2001. The median income for a household in the city of Smyrna, Georgia was $49,556 in the year 2011. At the time of this video's publication, the TV game show The Price is Right has awarded just under $10.5 million to contestants. They're gonna want me to be exact. $10,365,904.67. Tim Burton's Batman was shot on Panavision Panaflex cameras. There is a strain of salmonella named after Michael Jordan. The British 2-shilling coin was issued from 1849 until 1967 with a final issue for collectors dated 1970. It might surprise you to learn that the world's largest desert is Antarctica. That's right, deserts don't have to be hot to be deserts. As long as they lose more moisture than they gain, they qualify. There are 6 subspecies of wild turkey, all native to North America. Business cards originated in 15th century China and eventually were introduced to Europe during the reign of King Louis XIV. PowerPoint was originally called Presenter and was created in 1987 by a company called Forethought Inc. for the Macintosh. Court stenographers do not use standard keyboards. They have a specialized device that allows them to type entire words by holding down multiple keys at the same time. It takes about 2 to 3 years to learn the profession. It is technically possible to revive a dead car battery by putting 2 tablets of aspirin in each battery cell and waiting about 10 minutes. It's not a permanent solution, it'll probably destroy the battery, but it'll get you back on the road for a bit. There is more sugar in a can of soda than an average cone of cotton candy. EasyBoard, the once popular internet forum service later acquired by Youku, had nearly 20 million registered accounts in 2001. After finishing the first draft of Casino Royale, James Bond author Ian Fleming purchased a gold-plated Royal Quiet Deluxe portable typewriter, which he used to write the rest of his books and short stories. There are 4 basic hand strokes used when playing the bongo drums. They are called mute tone, open tone, slap tone, and heel toe. Dachshunds have never been selected for top prize at the Westminster Dog Show. Travesty. There are an estimated 3,000 castles in Scotland, equaling about 1 castle every 100 square miles. Jurassic Park was the 3rd highest grossing motion picture of the 1990s. The first pancake recipe appeared in a 15th century English cookbook. The largest corn maze ever created spanned 60 acres, and kangaroos cannot walk backwards. The Novotel Citygate Hong Kong Hotel has the tallest revolving door in the world. You will produce enough saliva in your lifetime to fill up 2 swimming pools. The Lord of the Rings The Two Towers holds the record for the most wigs ever created for a single movie. Coffee was discovered by a goat herder. Broadway theater tickets use rows A through H and J through Z, but use the number 9 instead of the letter I to avoid patrons mistaking it for the number 1 and thinking they have front row seats. Feather and down pillows will last you around 5 to 10 years. Polyester pillows should be replaced after 2 years. William McKinley was the first U.S. president to appear in motion picture. Don Cheadle only agreed to appear in Rush Hour 2 if he got to fight Jackie Chan. The medical term for brain freeze is
sphenopalatine ganglioneuralgia.
And Michael Jackson has 2 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. As a young man, Abraham Lincoln was actually an accomplished wrestler, so much so that he earned the Outstanding American honor in the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. Alan Shepard became the first person to golf on the moon during the Apollo 14 mission. In case you're wondering, he used a 6-iron. The planet Saturn is made mostly of hydrogen. Licking a USPS stamp will net you 1/10 of a calorie. The Animal Crackers box was originally a Christmas ornament hung by a string. The string can still be found on some boxes. Animal Crackers originated in England, where they were known as animal biscuits. Plastic cups were invented in the 1970s by Robert Holzman. His father Leo started the Solo Cup Company in 1936. NFL referees also get Super Bowl rings. While not as gaudy and expensive as the rings received by the champions, rule keepers that officiate the big game get their own memorabilia to show friends, family, and eventually eBay customers. The barcode was created by Norman Joseph Woodland and Bernard Silver and patented in the United States in 1951. It would take over 20 years for the invention to become commercially successful. It is illegal to pump your own gas in Oregon and New Jersey. The cover design for Star Wars: The Glove of Darth Vader, the very first book in the widely panned Jedi Prince series for young adults, is made by Drew Struzan, who designed some of the most iconic movie posters in history. A way too in-depth review of the book can be found in this video's description. The first portable computer weighed about 50 pounds, and finally, contrary to popular belief, bulls do not hate the color red, they are colorblind. And with that, I am finally finished. Thank you for taking the time to watch all 20 minutes. Please do not make me do half an hour. And special thanks to this video's sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace provides you an easy way to quickly set up your own beautiful website. You start by selecting from one of their many awesome customizable templates, and then they give you the online tools to shape it to your specific needs. So if you're a musician or a podcaster, audio blocks make embedding clips and tracks onto your site easy. If you run multiple social media accounts, simultaneous posting will help you get out a single message across several platforms in no time. If you run a business, their online storefront makes it easy to set up shop. You can get started today by going to squarespace.com to start a free trial. If you find that you like the experience, then when you're ready to launch your site in full, go to squarespace.com/AustinMcConnell to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.